Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. Pardon the noise. We have some construction over there, so I hope it's not too intrusive. Anyway, uh, like I said in my last video, great week podcasts for Joe Rogan. Probably the best week in I don't know, years, really. Kind of classic old Joe Rogan. Didn't talk too much about politics, because as I said before, I'm not too keen on Rogan's politics these days. And not too keen is an understatement. Anyway, number 1967, Mike, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, Vecchione. That's probably it. Mike Vecchione, his first time on Joe Rogan. He's a New York guy, kind of, you know, grew up in that New York comedy scene. He said he's been a comedian. I think he started in 2000, so he's been at it for 23 years. He's kind of has an interesting background. Uh, Used to be a teacher, educated guy. He's got a master's degree in special education. He used to work with kids with behavioral issues. Oh my God, I could only imagine what that was like. Like every day must be, I could just only imagine like kids hopped on and Ritalin and SSRIs and nutty people, just crazy stuff. But seems like obviously a good soul. Anyway, what was interesting, Joe was like, "How do what got you into this thing?" And he said partly one of the motivating factors was a breakup with his girlfriend. And I think this is so hilarious. How many guys, a lot of comedians, like everyone, right? Um, and it really is dumb when you get some perspective, especially at my age. I've been married, I'll be 27 years to the same woman. But when I was a young man, of course, I had my heart broken, all that. And at the time, it seems like it's the end of the world. It really does. And obviously, it's so stupid. It really is the silliest thing. Like, you're just young and dumb. You're young and dumb. There will obviously be other opportunities, but at the time, you don't have enough data. You're dumb. When you think about it, when you're my age, all those early breakups, they're obviously old ladies now with lives of their own, and it doesn't even make sense. It's so dumb. When you talk to a younger person, like, I'm sad because my girlfriend dumped me, I'll never get a girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. I'll tell you example. I worked at this credit place. Actually, I was in my 20s, but this one, I worked with the mother of this girl I was dating, and long story short, she um, broke up with me, and I was fucking devastated. I was like the end of the world, and her mother, the girl's mother, liked me. She's the one who set it up, by the way. Am I explaining that right? Anyway, she was like laughing, and my other coworker was older. Was like in his late 40s, early 50s, and he was laughing. He's like, "Dude," he didn't say "dude," but man, you're so silly. You're gonna have a nice life and meet someone and you get married and have a family, all that kind of stuff. But you don't see it then. What's weird with this guy is he's talking about it. Like, I never think about that. Like, sort of, but it just seems like it just seems dumb. Really, really silly. So, anyway, really good guy, good podcast, funny, smart, the whole thing. Now, another point I want to make here is Joe is not a sports guy. The only thing he's into is MMA. Like, he knows nothing about sports, which is fine, whatever. Um, but he's always going after baseball, always saying that baseball is boring, doesn't understand why it's the national pastime. Um, all sports. He didn't like any sports, but especially baseball. And I'm just the opposite. Like, my sports are baseball, basketball, football, and fighting. I love fighting too. The order is baseball by far. Like, I cannot live without baseball. Even if all the other sports went away, I'd be sad, but I couldn't live without baseball by a long shot. It's not even close. Um, Let me just play this, Joe, comparing wrestling. I like wrestling too. I wrestled in high school, freshman year only. Um, But let me just play this clip.
Kind of do, but I kind of feel like it could have been. It feels like, I mean, how's baseball popular?
I'm not a baseball guy at all.
I don't get it.
Neither do
I
I.
appreciate it if people play it. I appreciate it if you love it. But for me,
Yeah.
I just do not understand why it's entertaining.
Yeah.
And
You
yet, it's
dummy.
the big American pastime.
Right.
You're so dumb. Like a lot of dumb people don't get it. Like, and talking about that, it's slow moving. By the way, the new rules are incredible. They've made the game better with the clock, right? So I was a little skeptical. I love the game. I'm sort of a traditionalist when it comes to baseball. I mean, even way back, I was nervous with interleague play, all that, you know, the DH, whatever. So I was a little like, oh, you're fucking with a perfect game, and it made it better. It made it better. The other thing with after the ninth inning on the second base, I was really nervous about that. The game is better. It's absolutely 100% better, and the games are averaging like 2.5 hours, something like that. So anyway, Joe says it's slow, and I go, because I'm not saying Joe's a smart guy, but it's just you don't get it. Obviously, it's not your thing. It's chess. It's the most intellectual game, not even close. Fighting is too. Fighting is a chess match, but the energy, and I will even argue that baseball is even more intense because it's the buildup, the pacing. I love. That's why I was nervous about this clock. I love the pacing where it's kind of slow. I mean, blowouts are one thing, but a game, seventh, eighth inning, the ninth inning, ninth inning, game on the line, runners tying run at base or whatever. The intensity is off the charts, more intense than any fight you'll ever see. I'll argue that, especially playoff time, playoff October baseball. Forget it. Forget it. It's the greatest game in the world. It's intellectual. It's everything. Joe, you are so fucking wrong. I love fighting too. I love UFC, and I love basketball too, and football. But baseball is, I can't live without it. It's the greatest sport in the world. I just absolutely love it. So all right. So there you go. Try to make a couple of points for each podcast. Highly recommend this one. Mike Vecchione. How do you pronounce his name? Vecchione, Italian dude. Good guy, smart, funny. I haven't seen any of his stuff. I think he has a special out. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix or YouTube. Good dude, and I hope he does well. Okay, good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. By the way, the Yanks lost a tough one. If you're interested in baseball, I have another channel. I'm still sort of working on it called Yankee Talk. Yanks lost the tough one. They should have won 3-2. It should have been. If you watched, all right, I'll talk about it on Yankee Talk. But the Yanks are now 6-4. Another game tonight with Cleveland. Cleveland Guardians, not Cleveland Indians. All right. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk.